Hello, welcome to a completely different video than anything we've ever done here before. Hopefully it goes well. It's something that I have dubbed content baking, where I'm just gonna talk to you guys aloud about something that I think is really interesting. And we are going to be making a recipe from my great-great-aunt's recipe book. And I found this recipe for ginger cookies that has the name Emma next to it. And Emma was May's sister who died when she was 18. So I was like, well, let's just make Emma's ginger cookies because we're talking about corsets today. And Emma died in like 1907. She obviously was a young woman who wore a corset. Thought we'd make her cookies, and we talk about corsets and body positivity. So this is also my content warning. If you are someone who is really sensitive to the topics around body dysmorphia and eating issues, this might not be the video for you. It might be. I just want to give you guys a heads up. Okay. So content warning out of the way, recipe is picked. Is there a correlation between the rise of corsetry in popular fashion today and the rise of body neutrality? My approach to this, in my opinion, just spoiler alert, is yes. And that's kind of what I want to dig into today while we're making some ginger cookies. Wait, where'd you go? Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Oh, you're back there. Okay, so now that like the topic of the content baking has been established, let's actually gather some ingredients while we go over what is body neutrality and what is body positivity, just in case you guys are not familiar with those terms. Before we start comparing corsets to the body positivity or neutrality movement, we first need to understand what these movements are and any issues that surround them. First, the most popular is the body positivity movement. Body positivity is a social movement focused on the acceptance of all bodies, regardless of size, shape, skin tone, gender, and their physical abilities, while challenging present-day beauty standards as an undesirable social construct. Body neutrality is a shift in this perspective, from body hatred, disgust, and dislike to body appreciation and respect. It is honoring the body as it is and taking a few steps down the body image continuum towards a much more neutral zone. Body neutrality is that space where you do not support your body hatred anymore. Body positivity is definitely the more popular variation of this broader movement, and it's also gotten its fair share of criticism. Mostly the criticism is centered on the act of posting one's body to the internet, as this act that actually feeds into our cultural focus on showing one's body and its beauty to others. It simply just moves the goalpost of what beauty is perceived to be, and many people actually still struggle with this, no matter their size. Now, the body neutrality movement disregards that focus. You don't have to think your body is beautiful. You simply can just appreciate the life that your body allows you to live. So within these definitions and critiques, body positivity still focuses on how the public consumes and discusses the private body, while body neutrality strives towards a bodily privacy and not indulging in the public spectacle and consumption of the individual's private body. HelloFresh makes delicious meals in a box that you can buy online. They ship to your house and you can just have 3 dinners in a box. They're easy to make. They have multiple to pick from, 40 recipes every week. That way you know there's always something for you to have from HelloFresh. Whether you're a kid or an adult or just want some vegetarian options, pescatarian to griff. Not that you know what that word even means. In fact, they pride themselves on such high quality ingredients that the produce that they use goes from the farm to your table in less than 7 days. So that's how you know you're getting good, fresh, excellent ingredients in your food. Plus, you can also change out your protein option. You really like the way this one dish looks, but you don't want any beef. You'd rather have some chicken. Well, that's fine. That's no problem.
If you would like to give HelloFresh a try, go to www.hellofresh.com and use my code AbbyCox65 to get 65% off your order plus free shipping.
Anyways, use my code AbbyCox65. Get 65% off your HelloFresh order plus free shipping. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to baking cookies. As someone who's been like actively dealing with body image issues, my relationship with my body and my relationship with how my body has been publicly consumed since I was a child kind of explains why I became so acutely aware of this concept of bodily privacy when I was wearing 18th century clothes for like 5 years when I worked at Colonial Williamsburg. Body neutrality is about taking the focus away from the body. Ironically, I think for maybe people who are not used to corsetry, that's kind of what the corset does. It gives the wearer this sort of control over how their public body is consumed, thus allowing their private body to remain neutral, really, and hidden and private. The other thing about corsetry that often gets completely overlooked within the historical discussion, because so many people are really focused on this idea that corsets were meant to make the body smaller. Hey, I misspoke here, so I just want to like clarify what I was trying to say because obviously my brain was having a hard time putting the words together. What I was trying to say is that people usually think that corsets work better on smaller bodies. Not that corsets make bodies smaller, because they physically can make your waist smaller. So that's what I was trying to say, is that people assume that corsets work better on smaller bodies, and that'll explain everything that I'm getting ready to say coming up. But the reality is with corsetry is that corsetry actually usually works better on a larger body, a softer body. Just using my body as an example, when I was at my smallest size a few years ago, I was only able to basically achieve a 2-inch reduction in my waist. At my larger size, like I am the largest I've ever been, I can easily achieve a 4 to 5 inch reduction, like comfortably. Like I don't even notice a 2-inch reduction. And that's because like with a softer body, there's just more malleability. I mean, think about like, I don't know, Play-Doh, I guess would be a good way. When you have a lot of Play-Doh, you have a lot to work with. But if you don't have a lot of Play-Doh, you can't do that much, right? If your body is soft, you just have a lot of room to work with, where a smaller, harder, firmer body, a more muscular body doesn't always actually have the same results when you wear corsetry. Alexa, how many ounces are in 2 cups?
2 cups is 16 fluid ounces.
Oh, that's not gonna be enough. I need to find my other one. Oh, okay. 2 cups, really? Shit, that's a lot of molasses. I don't have enough. Here I thought having a jar and some change of molasses would be more than enough. When you Google corsets right now, what you're gonna see are just a whole smattering of designs and styles and like quality. There's even sweatshirts with corsets like built into them. It's very strange. So like obviously our society's interest in corsetry is there and it's broad. It's not anything to be like, oh, is it? Like, yeah, it's like, no, like everyone's into it. So here's where I'm at with the whole like concept is that we know corsets are popular. We have seen the body positivity and body neutrality movement come forward. And now we also have larger traditional medias trying to tell us now that like the BBL is out, which, you know, the Brazilian butt lift and like the curvy body is out of fashion and skinniness is in. And we've seen this amazing pushback from social media and content creators being like, you know, this is inappropriate, this is toxic, bodies should not be trends. Like, thank God we've been dealing with this shit for 100 years now, you know? Cool, we're gonna call that jazzy. Let's pour that in. It's foaming. You know, we're pushing back against this idea that bodies should be fashion, which is good. Like, bodies should never be what is in or out of fashion. And like, one of the things I love about historical clothing is that the fashions were weird. Hoops and crinolines and bustles and massive sleeves and panniers that can go out several feet wide. And you know, for so long, we mocked our ancestors for doing that, but honestly they were onto something, because when you're so busy creating this abstract artificial structure around your body itself, your private naked mole rat of a body, isn't actually the focus of public consumption. It's how big is your bustle, how wide is your crinoline, how big are your sleeves, how wide are your hoops, and so your actual body remains private. And the corset is integral in that, because the moment you have corsetry come into play is the moment that this extreme artificial body creation kind of also comes into fashion. While yes, they could have been cumbersome to walk around spaces in and awkward at times, they also took up space. So they allowed women to physically take up space where socially they might not have really been allowed space to voice their opinions or thoughts or feelings. So by physically taking up space, you are making an active commentary over your lack of autonomy and your lack of bodily rights and independence. And then the moment that women gain rights is the moment that our bodies become the fashion and we lose corsetry. And now that we're pushing against the body being the fashion, we're seeing corsets come back. And I don't think this is conscious. No. I don't think it's conscious. Whoa. That is gonna. Oh no. Since we're pushing back against this concept of body as fashion, we're seeing the corset come back. It kind of also helps, at least in my mind, justify this kind of thought process that one of the reasons why corsetry is coming back is because female presenting folk, or people who just like corsets, are just pushing against this by wearing a bone support garment that makes them feel good in their bodies. Because as much as people make fun of historic corsetry practices, the thing is whenever someone puts one on for the first time, you can see them like light up for. Yeah, well. Okay, that's a lot of dough. I literally have aprons right over there and I totally forgot to put one on. Because corsetry can kind of allow your body to exist in a sort of protected and private space, you know, the understanding of what body neutrality is, it kind of lends itself to being like, oh yes, that does make I have no idea these things. Corsets like a body neutral garment because they allow you to exist in your body privately while having complete and total aesthetic control over how your body is publicly being perceived. Not only provides physical comfort of the thundershirt variety, but also, you know how your clothes fit, you know how you look in your clothes. It provides this sort of mental comfort. And I've talked about this mental comfort on my video about wearing 18th century clothes every day for 5 years. I think we realize how mentally uncomfortable we are in our modern clothing, that we feel our modern clothing, we, are conscious of our modern clothing. We are worried about people looking at us and judging us in our modern clothing because we have been told by media that our bodies are wrong, that they're too big or too small in the wrong places and too big in certain places. And, we just keep dealing with this constant rhetoric around our bodies being wrong. And it's not right. The corset creates an ideal body because the corset is artifice, it's fake. Corsetry giving you that bodily autonomy and that aesthetic control. I think that subconsciously is why we do it. I think that is one of the reasons why body neutrality and corsetry have kind of risen in popularity at the same time. You don't wear corsetry and you only consume it from like a viewer's perspective. It's hard to understand for everyone who's ever worn corsetry, whether it's good corsetry or bad corsetry. But the reason that people wear it is because they like the way it makes them feel about how their body is viewed publicly, how they feel in their body personally, mentally, physically, and how it helps create a body that they want the public to consume, and then allows them to not have to think about the fact that the private body is what's on display. And so that's why I think that corsets and the body neutrality and positivity movement actually do coincide and they correlate. Like I said, there's no way to really quantify this or really actually prove this. This is just kind of my feelings about the idea and the subject. I think overall that this push against this idea that skinny is back in, this really horrific, toxic conversation happening around bodies as fashion needs to stop. It is not healthy. It is not safe. It's not good. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's nothing but bad. It's just really, really bad that having these larger conversations are just really important. Anyways, I would like to know what you all think. Like, do you think this theory makes sense? Or is it totally like a crackpot theory? You're just like, Abby, you're out of your mind. But I want to know that cookie recipe. It looks really good. I like cookies. If you want the cookie recipe, I'll put it in the description below. If you have a big family, make the full batch. I think you can half this easily. Thank you guys for joining me on this content baking video. Maybe we'll do another one of these. This is probably, I don't know how this will be edited. We'll see. It's kind of hard to film because it's really hard to focus on baking and talking about something that I feel very strongly about and is very sensitive, but we'll see how this ends up in post, right? But with that, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all back here next time. Bye. Do you even have a 2/3 cup? Do you not? You sneaky bitch. Yes, you do. It's tight enough that it goes on your boobs and no one cares. Griffy, Griffy, Griffy. Griffy, Griffy, Griffy. There you are. Want ice cubey? You tried. Why am I talking like that kid from Hot American Summer? A douchebag is a hygienic product. I take that as a compliment. Thank you.